Pride goeth before a fall. Now I can't see you. Hush, Brian. The most prestigious award CALLERLAB can bestow on an individual is the Milestone. It is presented to callers that have made significant contributions to the square dance activity. Recipients are awarded the activity based on 5 criteria. Must show outstanding and significant contribution to the field of square dancing and have shown leadership in uncharted fields, which has resulted in the betterment of square dancing. The contribution must have stood the test of time, must be unselfish contribution, divorced from personal gain and monetary reward, requires attitudes that think of others first, must maintain and conduct their self in a professional way during their leadership activities, reflecting the high standards of leadership to which we have dedicated ourselves in day-to-day activities. Must have exercised broad influence in the square dance activity, although local, geographic, and highly specialized activity may lead to recognition. It gives me great pleasure to tell you about this year's recipient, but I gotta tell you, it's going to be difficult to keep their name under wraps for very long. Our awardee began square dancing in 1979. That's the year I graduated high school. And became a caller apprentice in 1992, calling their first dance in 1983, and they've been calling full-time since 1984. Calling through A2. They are a sought-after staff caller for festivals and events, both in the United States and all over the world. In addition to a busy travel schedule, they also maintain a local square dance program as club caller for a growing, vibrant club that is moving and shaking. Our awardee has recorded many well-known and loved singing calls that are still used at dances today. Recording on Rockin' M, Hi-Hat, Global, Blue Star, Royal, Chaparral, and Chic. Chick. They have been an active member in CALLERLAB since 1985, serving on the Mainstream Plus Advanced Career Callers Caller Training, Accredited Caller Coach, Accredited Caller Teacher, Application and Review, and Women in Calling Committees. Board of Governors since 1994, serving as Vice Chair and on the EC, Chairman of the Women in Calling Committee from 1998 to 2015, Vice Chair of Caller Training Committee from 1993 to 1999, Coordinator of Caller Workshops for the Counties Callers Association from 86 to 87, Chairman of the Fundraising for the Foundation for the Promotion and Preservation of Square Dancing for the State of California from 1990 to 1991. Accredited Caller Coach since 1995, the 30th one in the world at that time to have achieved that status. She is one of only 3 women worldwide to be an accredited caller coach. Oh, and she did all that while raising her daughter. By now, I suspect that you have figured out that our awardee is Deborah Carroll-Jones. Don't make me go all tiara on you. I got more to say. From the moment that I met Deborah, I have observed firsthand her unwavering dedication to callers. She is a mentor, friend, and teacher. She will champion and fight for someone if the situation calls for it. She will support and mentor anyone who may cross her path or ask her to, and has a talent for building both confidence and giving constructive feedback and assistance in the growth of a calling career. She is fiercely protective and supportive about the next generation of callers coming through the ranks, and is always willing to help whenever and wherever she can. She does all of this without any expectation of payback, and many times at the expense of her own personal time, talents, and money. She is passionately involved in the education of callers, and to that end, in 2001, developed the Lone Star Callers College Syllabus. The New England Square Dance History Museum selected this syllabus to be the very best one ever, and a copy is on file at that location. This syllabus is still in use today by many caller coaches as a model for their student handouts. I believe that Deborah's active pursuit of the education and training of callers has made a substantial difference in our activity. But for me, it is the influence she has had on women in calling that will continue to stand the test of time. Would the women callers in attendance please stand for a moment? Now you get why you gotta wear the tiaras. Many of us would not be standing here without the encouragement and example of Deborah and all those who went before her. Thanks. You can sit. I won't make you stand. Under her leadership, the Women in Calling Committee has produced many resources relating to the training of us women. Her groundbreaking stages document was conceived by, researched by, and developed by Deborah, and was instrumental in opening conversations about the issues that are specifically faced by women, both callers and partners. She organized the WIC Top 10 Singing Calls and Pattern Lists, which are a great resource for caller coaches for music suggestions. She also arranged to have women callers, historical and current, highlighted in an ongoing series for the American Square Dance magazine. Her actions and willingness to put herself out there and speak her mind have broken through the silent gender barrier that was once very prevalent in the square dance community. I know that many joke about the Good Old Boy Network, but it was for a long time a reality. Many of our first female callers struggled to fit in and garner the respect of our male counterparts and receive recognition for their contributions. When Deborah came on the scene and refused to be anything other than herself, she picked up the torch and stepped up to fight for her right to sit at the table of leadership. And fight she did. She was the first female to be asked on staff for many festivals in her early career, including the Tucson Square Dance Festival, the Midwinter Festival in Oregon, the Silver State Festival, the Bakersfield Festiva, and the McLeod Square Dance Resort, to name a few. While at times it is still an upward battle, I strongly believe that Deborah's willingness to stick to her ideals and her belief in equality has played a huge role in paving the way for those to come. In fact, I do not believe that I would be standing here as your chair-elect had she not put herself out there and fought for a place at the table. On behalf of CALLERLAB, the Square Dance activity, and especially your sisters in crime, it gives me great pleasure to award the Milestone Award to Deborah Carroll-Jones.
This means we're going steady.
Don't stop.
We're going steady, Deborah. Cross that off my bucket list.
The first time that I met Patty, I had been invited to come up and do the NECA festival, you know, their callers thing, and who's going to be sitting out there but Don Beck and Jim Mayo and all those, Clark Baker and all those gods that lived in New England. and I'm supposed to go in there and teach them something. And so, of course, I had to go to the bathroom before it was time for me to go in there. And I was all alone in the ladies' room because there weren't that many of us then. And I was praying out loud to Jesus. And Patty came in and heard me. And that's how we got acquainted. And she's a sister of my heart. I am so proud of her, I can't hardly say anything because I'll just lose it completely. When I started calling, there weren't very many women callers. There were 3 in the Southern California area. And I cannot tell you the joy that it gives me to see the women that are here tonight and that have continued to come to CALLERLAB and begun to take the positions of leadership. Like our little spark plug down here, Janine, okay, the queen of the selfies, and promotes it, and the crazy bumper car thing that she came up with, and her beautiful daughter, and Courtney, who's out there that looks like she just came in from a Disney movie, and they're thin, and they're beautiful, and they're enthusiastic, and Shauna, my Shauna, who took that Ways and Means Committee and just exploded with it, as I knew she would, and is now producing, I mean, a woman music producer. It was unheard of, absolutely unheard of. We couldn't even get music that was kind of in a key we could do. So it thrills my heart to see the growth that has happened for Women Callers, and as our new incoming chairwoman of the board. But there weren't very many of us, like I said, when I started, and it wasn't, I didn't get trained by a woman. I got trained by a man. And it was a caller who thought that he could make a caller out of me, and I couldn't figure out why he thought that would happen. And he was a wonderful choreographer. His name is Skip Stanley, and he was amazing. And I couldn't dance to him to save my life. And so I made up my mind I was going to learn to dance to him. And then I found out that he trained callers. And so he started working with me, and he had faith in me. Told me, as a matter of fact, if you are not going to make it in this business, I'm so sure that you are, that if you're not, I'll know by the third lesson. And if you're not, I'll give you all your money back. He still has all my money. And so through Skip came other callers in the Southern California area that supported me, like Vic, who had been trained by Skip. And Vic was my go-to guy for, this is too hard, I can't do this, I can't do this. Crying and calling. Come on, Deb, there's friends and enemies, you can figure this out, we can do this. And folks like Dave Rensberger in California. I had callers, gentlemen, that there was a wonderful festival in Southern California that, oh boy, was it a feather in your cap to get to call at that festival. Never had been a woman, ever, in the history of the festival to call for that thing. Dennis is nodding because that's where I met him. And you had to go down and try out at the after party. So boy, I was down there. I couldn't wait. I got up at the after party and I did my thing, and the next year I was down there again. Man, I'm hoping for my shot. Am I going to get a chance to call? And two of the callers, John Walter and Dave Rensberger, went to the guy running the festival and said, you need to put Deborah on the program. The guy said, as long as I have anything to do with this festival, a woman will never call on this program. And Dave and John said, okay, what are you going to do for callers for the rest of the weekend then? And he went, what do you mean? And I said, because if she don't call, we don't call. That's the kind of support that I had. Those are the guys that opened the door for me and made it possible for me. God, I can't believe I'm standing here. In 1985, I was at my first CALLERLAB convention here. We had over 600 people. And I watched, this is serendipity, I watched a man get his milestone that night. I was way in the back in the cheap seats because I didn't know anybody. He was about this big, and that was my husband, John Jones. And he got his milestone at CALLERLAB. And I thought, that's a good-looking guy. And so, who would imagine that this man who has traveled the world and done so much for CALLERLAB, so much for square dancing. When I decided to try to be a club caller, I'd been a gypsy for over 30 years, and he said, I'll support you however I can. He drives me everywhere. He doesn't like me to be on the road alone. He carries all the heavy stuff because I now have a bad shoulder and I can't carry this stuff in. And he sets it up. And I'm the one that's on stage. I'm the one with the microphone. And my club loves him. But he said, I've got to do something to get involved with this club. And so he sells the honey pot tickets. And our honey pot has grown like you cannot believe, because who's going to tell him no? They don't And he gives me so much support, some of which I don't really appreciate, like critiques, but he does. He's always there. He's always got my back, and he's always there to try to make me better and stronger at what I do and what I love. Now I understand why you were so insistent that my sister be here tonight. One day, Vernon and Kayla were over at the house. We had all the family over, and John's Milestone sits on a special case. And Vernon was standing there, and I came over, and we were both standing there looking at the milestone. And I kind of leaned on him, and we looked at each other, and we looked at the milestone. He said, "It's as close to a milestone as I'll ever get." And I said, "Well, you know, if something happens to him, it comes to me." And he just laughed and shook his head. This is unbelievable. I love this organization. I have been so fortunate. I wanted to do something with my voice. I wanted to, God, I thought if I could get $100 extra a month, I would be in high cotton. And to do the things I've done, to go the places that I've gone, to have the relationships that I have with so many people out there, that's my currency. It's not the money. This is my currency, and I am such a wealthy, wealthy woman. And I thank you so much.